Hey guys, hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is to solve question number 5.25 and chapter which we are related with is cost profit volume analysis. You can see the shape of the question, the volume of the question, still everything is same, basic concept is same, just it's a practicing question. You can read directly your first requirement. What is present yearly net operating income? So obviously you will be related with contribution margin format income statement, and here inputs are given. Company's introduction is given in the first line. They are manufacturing a fashion watch. Find optimal selling price. This is our target. Please try to understand, this is so good to get a new skill. You want to calculate optimal selling price. Optimal means maximum selling price which can be adjusted. Maximum means we are just using this word. It might be the least price or it might be the highest price. Optimal, where you can get the maximum profit at the price which you are getting your net margin at the highest level. Marketing studies suggest that company can increase sale by 5,000 unit, and this underlying word is very important for each 2 per unit. This is Swiss franc. You can call it dollars, you can call it pounds, you can call it rupees. It's just a currency unit. So there is nothing related to this word, no relationship of this word with the question. So just ignore it. You can use it for currency unit. So just consider 5,000 number of units. If you want to increase your sales, then you will be decreasing $2 per unit reduction in selling price. Now he is also explaining that it's a Swiss franc or the currency name. The company's present selling price is 90, variable expense is 60, fixed 840, present annual sale volume is 90. What is present yearly net operating income? For that we will be constructing contribution format income statement, for which I think you do not even to think, or without any pressure you can see that we do write sales very first, and then you subtract your variable cost to get contribution margin, and then we subtract fixed cost to get our net margin. Okay, these are the inputs of income statement we have widely used. Here we usually write the number of units, and then per unit would be mentioned over here, and finally we will calculate the amount over here. So let's go back to the question. The first thing is 25,000 units. Present annual sale volume 25,000 units. We can put over here. The second important thing is to see what was per unit price. Here selling price is 90. You are open to write 90 over here. As you know, there is something not good happened. The margin is incorrect. Okay. As you know that units of sale will always be equal to units of variable cost. So what you will do, you will be writing the same number of units over here. Variable cost is also mentioned in the question. Variable expenses are 60 per unit. So you can write 60 over here. And finally, as you know that we will be searching for fixed cost. Fixed expenses are 840,000. So you will put 840,000 over here. So in this way, every calculation which was required has been completed. We can calculate sale, we can calculate variable cost. In the similar way, we can reach up to net margin as well. You have a better idea how to calculate amount for sales, as units and per units are available in question. So what you will do to calculate sale, you will multiply units and per unit. Units 25,000, and you will multiply it with per unit 90. We have got amount of sales. Then we can calculate variable cost. Again, It's a product of units and per unit. Units are 25,000 and per units you can see variable cost is 60. Choose it. In this way you have calculated your variable cost. Now you can calculate your contribution margin, which is different between variable cost and sales. So here you can calculate contribution margin. Amount of sale is 225,000. Contribution margin is difference between VC and sales. So to calculate difference, you will subtract variable cost. We have got contribution margin. After which it's easy to calculate net margin, which is difference between fixed cost and contribution margin. Your contribution margin is 7,50,000. To calculate the difference, you will subtract fixed cost 840,000. So we have got our net margin as well. 840,000 was the fixed cost. So second important thing you will be noticing is sign of minus is coming over here. It means this is not profit. You will consider it as loss. So we have calculated first part where we were asked to calculate present yearly net operating income or loss. 90,000 is our answer. Our answer is also 90,000. And since brackets are written over here, whenever you see bracket, it means it's negative sign or loss. Okay, what is present break-even point in terms of units and sales? This is our second requirement, but there are two things which are discussed. Break even point is needed, but in terms of units. So what is your formula? Fixed cost is needed and we will be dividing it by CM per unit. Okay, make a space and CM per unit. How do you calculate? For that, you will use the same contribution margin formula, sale minus variable cost. But beside it, you will use first quotient as per unit. Quotient means first word. Per unit sales will be used and you will subtract again per unit what? Variable cost. This would be for CM per unit. Per unit sale is mentioned 90. And then you need to subtract what? Per unit VC. This is per unit variable cost 60 mentioned above. Statement completed. Now you can put it on your calculator. 90 minus 60, you would have 30. This is your CM per unit. So go back and put it in your formula. Break even point in terms of units. The formula has already been written. We need to put fixed cost. How much fixed cost? 840,000 already mentioned in your question, and you need to divide it with CM per unit, which has been calculated over here. 30. Statement completed. Now put it on calculator. 840,000 divided by 30. So we have got our break even point in terms of units. Here by hand it was not written, but answer is available. Break even point in terms of unit 28,000. So second A is calculated. It's time to see next we need to calculate second B, and that is break even point, but now we are calculating in terms of dollar or amount. Here Swiss francs are used, which is fixed cost will be divided by CM ratio. Before calculating break even point, we will calculate contribution margin ratio, and that would be calculated by CM would be divided by sales, with which CM ratio would arrive. So go back to the question. We have calculated, you can calculate CM over here as well per unit. How? CM or contribution margin is basically the difference between sales and variable cost. To calculate the difference, you will take sales and will subtract variable cost. So you have got your per unit contribution margin as well. Same, you can use total amount as well, but that's little easy to use per unit cost. Now we are calculating CM ratio. So CM was calculated 30. You can see over here, put 30 and it would be divided by sales, and sale price is 90. Both you can use total amount and you can use per unit as well. So sale was 90, we are putting 90 over here. Now this would be put on calculator, 30 divided by 90. So we have got zero point 0.3. This is your CM ratio. We are now open to calculate our break-even point, for which we need fixed cost. And as you can see, 840,000 was used, we remember. So we are putting 840,000 as fixed cost divided by CM ratio, which is calculated over here. I suggest you not to write few decimals, write as many decimals as you can. So we have finally break even point, which is in terms of dollars, and it needs a little more space. So this is 25 lakh 20,000 break even point in terms of units, which is present over here. 25 lakh 20,000 and 25 lakh 20,000 is calculated over here. So 2B part has also been solved, and in second part there were 2 points: break even unit and break even sales. Break even unit 28,000, as you can see we have calculated over here, and then break even in terms of sale 25 20,000, 25 20,000 2B is calculated. We will now be looking at third point, assuming that marketing studies. You have seen marketing studies suggest that the company can increase sale by 5,000 units for each 2 rupees or dollars per unit reduction. What does that mean? If you will decrease your selling price by 2 units or $2, what will happen? Your sale would be increased by 5,000 units. Right now, how many units you are selling? Here it has been written 25,000. But if you will decrease this price by 2, this sale will be increased by 5,000 units. Okay, then what he wants us to do? Marketing strategy I have explained, and you will follow it. At how many units and what selling price per unit would the company generate? What is the maximum profit that company can yearly earn? So obviously maximum profit is a profit way after which you will not be able to get a profit more than that of particular profit. If you will decrease price beyond that limit, instead of getting profit, you will be getting loss. There are several methods to calculate it, but we will use uh, by hook and crook method, where we will put several different selling prices and selling number of units to get the profit. For the time being, I am using these headings which has been already used just to save the time, since we are putting different number of units to calculate it. Okay, now as you know, at 25,000 number of units with 90 per unit sale price, you are facing a loss. So marketing strategy is what? To decrease 2 rupees or $2 by selling price, 5,000 number of units would be increased. So what you can do is, right now we are selling our product for 90 rupees. By decreasing 2 rupees, what would be your selling price? It would be 88. Okay, for that I am for the time being deleting everything over here, so that you can understand clearly. If I would decrease price from 90 to 28, 90 to 88, our units would be increased from 25,000 to 30,000, because he was saying if you will decrease $2 price, units would be increased by 30,000. Remaining everything would be same. 60 variable cost is not being changed. So your contribution margin has been decreased to 28. But let's see what benefit they will be getting. For this, amount we will be multiplying units into per unit, and again for variable cost units would be multiplied with per unit. Variable cost has arrived. Now we can calculate contribution margin, which is difference between variable cost and sales. Sale is 2,60,000, variable cost is 1,80,000. Contribution margin is calculated, and 840,000 was your fixed cost. It's time to calculate your net margin, which is difference between fixed cost and contribution margin. Contribution margin 840, subtract fixed cost, which is also 840, so we have reached to the break even point. But we are up to a target where we can get maximum profit. So it's not maximum profit after loss. Look at here. The first statement was showing if you will sell 25,000 unit at 90, you will be facing loss. And immediately after that, we have seen when you are selling 30,000 number of unit at 88, you will be getting a break even point where there is a situation of no profit, no loss. But still we are not satisfied. Why? Because we want to earn maximum profit. So what we will do, I'm using it again to apply second option, where what I will do, I will decrease price again. Okay, deleted as well. Now price was 88. I want to get maximum profit. Right now I am on break even point. Initially I was facing loss. I have decreased price to 2, with which my units has been increased from 25 to 30,000 units. Further I will decrease from 88 to 86. As in question it has been told that marketing, according to marketing strategy, only $2 per unit can be decreased. So from 88 to 86 we have arrived. As you will decrease your price from 88 to 86, 5,000 would be increased in your number of units. So what will happen, instead of 30,000 you will be able to sell 35,000. Now let's see, after decreasing the price and increase in number of unit, what change comes in your net margin. For that we'll have to have sale price, which would be the product of units and per unit of sale. Units are 35,000, we need to multiply per unit. This way we have got our sale price, unit 35,000, per unit 86. Now variable cost is also product of units and per unit. Units are 35,000 and per unit is 60. So here you have got your variable cost as well. Now it's time to calculate contribution margin, which is difference between VC and sales. Sales is 30 lakh 10,000 and you need to subtract variable cost 21 lakhs. So we have got 91,000 as our contribution margin. You have complete idea that variable cost is fixed 8,40,000, which was used over here, and we have got our net margin, which is 70,000. It means our profit has been increased. We are encouraged that by decreasing the price, our profit margin, net margin, has been increased from 0 to 70,000. But still we want to see how much more profit we can earn. For that we will try next option. We will continue this option until and unless our profit is decreased by decreasing the sale price. So this was your first option. Then you have used your second option, and finally you are using your third option. What you will do now, again I am deleting these figures and will change. Price was, last time price was 86. You want to increase your profit, so the next step is to decrease further from 86 to 84 price, as the limit is only $2. So we have decreased number of unit per unit selling price from 86 to 84. With this 5,000 number of units would be increased. So number of units sold would be from 35 to 40,000. 5,000 units would be increased. So this way, this is our new income statement. Let's see if profit is increased or decreased. For that we will be calculating our sales. product of units and per unit. Units are 40,000. We need to multiply per unit, which is 84. Now we have got our sale price. It's time to calculate variable cost. Again, a product of units and per unit. Units 40,000 and you will multiply by 60 per unit variable cost. We have got total variable cost. Time to calculate contribution margin, which is difference of variable cost in sales. Sale is 30 lakh 60,000 and you will subtract variable cost 24 lakh. We have got our contribution margin, and as you know that 88 lakh 40,000 is your fixed cost. It's time to calculate net margin, which is difference between fixed cost and contribution margin. Contribution margin 960 and you will subtract 840 your fixed cost. So we have got our net margin, which is 1 lakh 20,000. You can see we are decreasing price. Our profit is continuously increasing. So how far you will go? Obviously, when you will see that by decreasing the price, your number of units are increasing and margin is increasing, you will continue this practice and we will follow the fourth step. Since it is little easy for me, I'm just copying from here and applying for the next to get the maximum profit. So last stage price was 84 and units were 40,000. I will further take a risk of decreasing the price from 84 to 82. Why? Because we are permitted only to decrease price by $2. With this decrease, our units would be increased by 5,000. Right now we were on 40,000. When you will increase 5,000, it would be 45,000. So in this way, our new proportion has been created. First we will calculate the sales by multiplying units 45,000 and per unit, which is 82. Sale has been calculated. Now we will calculate variable cost. Units 45,000 will be multiplied by 60 variable cost. Time to calculate contribution margin, which is difference between variable cost and sales. Sale is 3690 and you will subtract variable cost 27 lakh. So we have got contribution margin. As you know, your 840,000 is a fixed cost. It's time to calculate net margin, difference of fixed cost and contribution margin. Contribution margin is 990 and your fixed cost is 840. So we have got 1,50,000. Still, your profit has been increased from 120 to 140. Should we stop? No, because by decreasing the price, number of units are increasing and our profit is also increasing. So it's encouraging. We will continue this practice and we'll go to the fifth point and we'll further decrease the prices. Since it's little easy for me, I'm picking these amounts directly and posting for fifth stage. Here I'm for the time being deleting it. Now we will change the price again. From 82 to 80 we will arrive. With this our number of units would be increased. Right now we were selling 45,000, but since we have decreased level of price by $2, our sale will be increased by $5,000, with which we will reach up to 50,000. Now let's calculate its selling price by multiplying units and per unit. Sale has been calculated. Calculate variable cost by multiplying units and per unit variable cost 60. Time to calculate contribution margin by subtracting sales and variable cost. Contribution margin arrived. 840,000 is your variable cost. And finally you will calculate net margin by subtracting fixed cost from the contribution margin. Contribution margin 1 million and you will subtract your fixed cost 840,000. So we have got profit. Okay, can you see from 82 to 80 price dropped and your profit has also been increased from 150 to 160. Now there will be your question. You might have an opinion that if we will continue decreasing this price, our sale would always be increasing, but the fact is it would not be happening like that. There would definitely be limit, and we are supposed to see that limit. For that, we will take one more option to see if it is continuously increasing. This is our sixth option we are using. For the time being, I'm deleting these options available. Now, previous price was 80, and I am now going to decrease it further $2 and price would be 78. With this decrease, our number of units would be increased from 50,000 to 55,000. Okay. Now question is, due to decrease in price, your margin should be increased every time. But let's see what will happen over here. To calculate sale, we will multiply units, and per unit is 78. We have got our sale price. Similarly, we will calculate variable cost by multiplying units, and per unit 60. Net margin would be calculated by subtracting variable cost from sales. Sale is 42.90 and you will subtract variable cost 333. Contribution margin arrived 840,000 is your fixed cost, and it's time to calculate your net margin by subtracting fixed cost from contribution margin, which is 990, and fixed cost is 840. So we have got our contribution margin. So finally we have arrived at a situation where we have decreased the price from 80 to 78. Units have been increased from 50 to 55, but in spite of this good activity, we have lost our maximum profit. So profit from 160 has been dropped to 150. So let's go back. This was your first step when you were selling 30,000. It was break even point. Then you have started selling 35. Profit increased 70,000. Then 120,000. Profit is continuously increasing. Then 150,000. Then 160,000. Okay, profit is continuously increasing. But at this stage, instead of increasing, profit has been decreased. Although you have decreased your level of price, units are increased, but beside this good activity, even then you are facing a decline in your profit. So this situation we can choose. It's a stage where you are getting your maximum profit. So we are highlighting it. Now let's go and see what is happening. Note it down. Number of unit 50, per unit 80, maximum profit 160,000. Here is your answer for third point. As you can see, 160,000, 50,000 and 80. 160,000, 50,000 and 80 per unit. So it means we have solved problem third part of the problem where we have matched the answers as well. Let's see what fourth point is saying. What would be the break even point unit and sales using the selling price in third? So finally we will be focusing upon here, and we will calculate break even point. Sixth point can be calculated. The point was fourth point we are calculating. Actually this is needed to be referenced, so we can calculate break even point over here. First break even point which is needed is break even point in terms of units would be calculated over here, and formula for which is you need to have fixed cost, and that would be divided by CM per unit. Okay, for that we need to have contribution margin per unit, which would be calculated by when you will have sale per unit and variable cost per unit, you will subtract it to get CM per unit. Since we are using this situation, because according to question, use this phenomena to calculate break even point. Okay, here sale per unit we have seen is 80, and you need to subtract variable cost per unit, which is 60 over here. Statement completed. Now put it on calculator. 80 minus 60, we have got 20. This is your break even CM per unit. Now we can calculate our break even point, for which we need fixed cost 840,000, same for all number of unit, and we need to divide it with CM per unit, which is calculated over here 20. Statement completed. One second, this statement is important, so I need to write it. So same would be put now 840,000 divided by 20. Okay, usually when we calculate, statement would be vanished. So that is why I have written it, so that you can understand fixed cost was 840, CM per unit was 20. So break even point in terms of unit is 4200. Okay, let's see if 840,000 is written over here. No, we have right 84,000. So this is 840,000 and we have got 42,000 number of units. This answer you can see 42,000. First part has been sorted out. So B part would be solved over here, and what is that? We need to calculate break even point, but in terms of dollars or amount. How do you calculate it? You need to have fixed cost, and that would be divided by CM ratio, contribution margin ratio, for which we will calculate CM ratio first, and that would be when you will divide your contribution margin by sales, you will get CM ratio. Here CM was calculated 20. You can use 1 million or 20. In both ways you will get the same answer. So 20 is your CM and you need to divide it with sale price, which is 80. So in this way, actually this is happening, which is not to be happen. 20 divided by 80. So this is 0.25, which is your CM ratio. You will use same ratio to calculate break even point. For that you need to have fixed costs, which is 840,000, and it would be divided by, again I'm doing the same thing, I put is equal to, which is not meant to be put for first stage. CM ratio is calculated 0.25 over. Statement completed. Now we are putting it on calculator. 840,000 is divided by 0.25. So with this 3360,000, and you can see 3360,000 is your answer. So both break-even points we have calculated. 3360,000 is here, and 42,000 break-even units that was mentioned. But here few things are also been mentioned over here. Why is this break-even point different from the break-even point you computed into? Simple is this: when you will change your number of units, when you will change your per unit selling price. This is very important, since break-even point it directly depended upon CM in both cases. CM and CM would have two major inputs: selling price and variable cost. When you will change your VC and sales, obviously your break-even point would be disturbed. In first stage, you have calculated your break-even point over here. You can see 28,000 and 30. At that stage, your selling price and variable cost was different. So due to change in selling price, just one factor is literally more important. If you will change your selling price, your break even point would be disturbed. Here you can see your selling price is 80, and at first stage your selling price was 90, where break even point was 28,000. In this stage break even point is 42,000. So you can write just a single sentence: due to change in selling price. Due to change in selling price, break-even points would be changed and be different. This was the question which was asked: why is break-even point different? So answer is, when you will change your sale price per unit, break-even point would be changed. So finally 5.28, all answers are calculated. First answer was 90,000. You can see 90,000 loss. Brackets are mentioned over here. First answer. Then you have calculated your second answer 28,000, which was present over here. Then you have calculated your third answer 20,000, which was over here 20,000. Then third answer was calculated over here. Three answers were 50,000, 80 and 160,000. So 50,000, 80 and 160,000, these three answers were available, and beside it we have calculated 42,000 and 3360. So 42,000 and 3360,000 is calculated. All answers are reviewed as well. It means finally our question 5.25 is completed. Hopefully you people have understood well. If you have any query, if you have any question regarding this solution, you are very welcome to ask your queries through messages, text or directly me to share your problem. I will surely be available instantly to answer your question. 5.25 is ended. Hopefully we will be meeting again soon for solution of any other question, inshallah. And up till then, please take care of yourself. And I'm requesting you to please pray for me as well. Thank you very much for your time. It's time to say goodbye. Allah Hafiz.